The scrapers in the barn that clean the scrape alleys need some maintenance. It's just a matter of wear and tear, and there's these shoes, that wear out at the bottom. And when the scraper comes back, these flip up so it can come over top of the manure, and it comes all the way back to the start. And then when it runs again, they'll flip down, and then this rubber edge will rub on the concrete. So all I'm doing is changing all the shoes on all the plows, and they lasted about 3 years. And then I'm also going to loosen some bolts right here, and that loosens this piece of rubber, and then I can drop it a quarter, half an inch, and it'll rub smooth with the concrete again. I've never done this job before, so the first plow took me a little while to figure out. Now I know what I'm doing. Other than it being a dirty job, it's really not that hard. Just got two bolts that hold it on, and that's it. So you put new bolts in. You could use the old ones, but they send new ones, so probably better off to put new ones in. So here you go. The old one and the new one. You can see how much it wore it out. Try to get all the manure off of here so I can see this rubber piece that's behind this metal strip. And then we also have to clean out these little bolts. A little Allen key head on there. So I can loosen those. So this piece is wrecked, but hopefully we can just lower it and it'll wear down. Maybe it'll be okay, maybe it won't, but we'll give it a try. I clean those out with a little syringe so I can get this in there. You should be able to just tap that. See it lowered the rubber? Don't want it to lower that metal. These screws are supposed to stay in, or these bolts, just a little bit, so they pinch on that steel strip. Try that. Done. I'm gonna show you guys what we do in the robot room to keep this place clean. It's a lot of work. The cows are running by here or walking by here every day, crapping in front of the robots, and besides, so you get manure that comes in. The way we try to keep this fairly tidy is we have a protocol morning and evening. I'm going to go over that protocol and what we do. So I'll show you what we do in the morning. So I'm going to lock the boxes so the cows can't get in. Soak everything so that way all the dirt gets loose. The manure only takes 30 seconds or a minute for it to loosen up, and then I wipe it all down. Just spraying it does not get the dirt off. You need to actually wipe it down. And if you do it every day, it doesn't take you very long. It takes me about 10 minutes to clean both robots every morning. Rinse it down when you're done wiping it. And I move on to the next spot. So there's certain areas of the robot that I wipe every day. I don't go up this high. I don't do everything, but whatever I can reach easily. If I wipe it every day, then it pretty much stays clean. Then I bring the arm out. Clean out all in these blocks here. As they get manure in them, that helps them from It keeps them from wearing out too fast. You get the bedding, which is the sand, which is like sandpaper. You get that out of there twice a day, and that'll help save your blocks from wearing out. These blocks need to line up nice and lock in for this to go back in and go through a rinse or a wash. So you wash those out nice. Once I have both robots clean, that's probably 7-8 minutes. Do that, clean the cameras. Then I hose the floors down and the walkway up front. This hose has a lot more pressure. We have a booster pump. This hose just can't push the dirty water, the bit of manure that's in the floor of the robots. And this thing has a lot more power, like that. Lock the walls down. Lock the water pressure, it doesn't take long. And I'm done. So that's it. We're done our once or twice a day robot cleaning. So we do that morning and evening, and it takes 8 to 10 minutes, so not very long. We often get asked, how often do you get called by the robot? So if I go back to last summer, probably July, August area, I was starting to get the odd call for the robot not going through the rinses properly. So if a cow doesn't go to our robot after 30 minutes, it automatically does like a 2-minute or 3-minute rinse. And if that doesn't go through properly, then it will call me. And what was happening is it was calling me saying it wasn't going through properly. And what I eventually figured out is that those green blocks on the robot arms weren't lining up properly, and the inflations were kind of on an angle, some of them. I thought maybe there was something wrong with the cylinders that sucked them up, but the robot tech eventually came out because I was having a couple of calls in a week, and then we found out that those blocks were wore out, and it didn't really occur to me that that was what the issue was. But as soon as we put these new blocks on, all of a sudden no more calls anymore, so they were lining up perfectly. Once we got into October, I think that was the last call I had from the robots, like calling my phone, was the end of September. We fixed those blocks. Then I believe the next time I got a call was the beginning of December. So we went October, November, beginning of December. I think I had one call for the milk meter on the robots wasn't calibrating the milk that was flowing through. Anyways, got that figured out, how to get us part switched out, and then we never got another call again, I think, till February or something. So we kind of went, 2.5 months, no call. Then we had one call. Then we went, I think it was maybe 2 or 3 months without a call, and then had another call. But I would say, on average, if I got called maybe once every other week, twice a month, would probably be realistic. So the last robot call I had was when the exit door wouldn't close. Okay, either the cylinder on the door is not working properly. That's one thing that I'm thinking. There's a cow down in the robot. That's the first thing I'm actually thinking of. Or a cow is just standing there and the door can't close and she's being stubborn. That can happen if you have a cow in heat. They do funny things. I came out to the barn hoping for the best, and the door was just open. There was a cow standing there. I was like, oh, she's blocked the door for too long. All I had to do was push on the door and it shut, and we were fine. But yeah, I would say if I had to average it out with the Geo robots, we've been 3 years now, I would say maybe twice a month we get called. We can easily go a month or two, never hear from it, and then sometimes you'll have a week where you hear from it once or twice, but they're pretty reliable. Let's put it this way, the robot calls me probably less than an employee would call in sick, so that's kind of one of the benefits of a well-oiled machine, a good working robot. You won't get called too often. A very spring-like day today, guys. April 4. It's probably 10 degrees, sunny, no wind. Just want to do an update for you guys on the bag yard here. It is nice and dry. We got all this gravel down. If you remember last year, we expanded the yard probably from about here over, or maybe here over. We added 25 feet. Yeah, feeding out of the bags on gravel, that's the way to do it. I enjoy feeding out of the bags. You got a nice small face to keep up with. Your feed never gets warm. You stay on top of cleaning this plastic up. And it is very manageable. I'll show you the haylage bags. That's the corn silage we're feeding out of. 10 by 250. This is a leftover piece from last year. Got left outside, but we'll be able to use that probably 10 by 150. This is haylage. This is haylage. This is haylage. We got 3 haylage bags open right now. Here is a new seeding bag. We're feeding that to milk cows along with third cut. That stuff's really nice. It's all nice. Stuff's perfect. And this is a second cut new seeding that we're feeding to heifers. I'll say it once, but I'll say it again. I've seen enough bags where guys, I don't know what they're doing. They're tearing it up and pushing plastic in with feed. It doesn't have to be like that, guys. You keep your bucket above that plastic by an inch or two, and then you kind of get out and you throw the feed back, and don't take buckets that are 110% full. You spill feed all over the place. This yard is clean because I don't take over full buckets. If you are a bit cautious with how you're loading the TMR, you leave the feed in the bag or in the bucket or in the TMR mixer, not all over the yard. This is one that we opened up from the side, a bit of a wild opening, but you know what? It's working out just fine. Once again, I'll get this all tidied up, get that end cleaned out. I keep picking a little bit out of here so that doesn't warm up, but with the cold weather, I'm keeping up with this just fine. Another week or so, and this will be emptied out, and then we'll get all this plastic cleaned up, and we'll just be working our way that way. And that's, yeah, like not spilling anything out front, so it's not a mess. It's working out fine. This stuff is just perfect. There's not one spot of mold in any of this feed. That third cut that we're feeding to the cows. Here we got a commodity, a bit of a premix for the cows, milk cows. And here's our chopped straw. We just filled this up last week, or this past week, Tuesday, I believe. Chopped 25 bales in that sea can. That'll be enough for a couple months. So anyways, that's a little update with the feed yard.